This was cool. And we thought, okay, if we're going to make a quiz game, let's make a cool quiz game. Let's make a quiz game that's a little bit like this. And so, Buzzer Beater was born. And as you can tell from this logo here, we'd learnt the lessons of Katamari Damacy quite well. It's kind of like, you can imagine someone in Japan making a game that looks just a little bit like that. So this was Buzzer Beater. And in Buzzer Beater, we had our host. This is our host there. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be, some sort of mix between an alien and a crab. And next to him, obviously, is his glamorous hostess, Sam the Cactus. We've got the singing clam. This was the music game. So whenever a song clip played, we've got our clam that would sing it to you, obviously. And these are our wacky contestants. We've got here, it's not always clear, but we've got a hot dog, a tooth, a rubber dinosaur flotation device, and a beaver in a beret. I think, if I remember correctly, our lead artist at this time had just had his wisdom teeth taken out. And so we got his tooth in our game. And obviously, we were all really happy with ourselves. We'd created a cool game. I mean, look at this, is going to be a fantastic game. And Sony, to give them credit, they were like, okay guys, you know what you're doing, if you want to do that, that's what you can do. And so they let us get on with it. But then one day, marketing, the guys who had to sell our game, took one look at this, and they were like, no guys, your last game was a flop. We're not letting you do this to this game. And, well, personally, I still quite like this style. I would love to see what a 3D hot dog would look like on the PlayStation 3 with all the shaders and high polygon graphics. I think it would be fun. But that's because I'm a gamer. I understand this because I've spent the last 24 years playing computer games. This talks to me in a language that I understand. My mum, my wife, my gran, my sister, they don't understand this. They've never seen this, but what are we talking about? How can we appeal to them if they've got no idea what we're talking about? And so that was our first lesson. Lesson 1, people understand the familiar. People understand the language of their lives. Don't confuse them by trying to talk to them in a different way. And now I keep using the word language. I'm not talking just about verbal communication. I'm talking about the visuals and the body language. What do these people find your target audience? What do they watch on TV? What books do they read? What films do they go to? What places do they visit? Who do they interact with? This is the language of their lives. And it's the language that you should try to talk to them in. I mean, this is basically what we did after Sony had their little word with us. And it's pretty obvious what we're doing now. Everyone knows that this guy here is the host of the show. He's usually human. He's usually male, to be honest. And everyone knows what the host does. He talks to the contestants. He controls the proceedings. I don't need to explain to you what the host does because you've all spent your whole life watching it on TV. The hostess, we all know what the hostess does. She makes the host look good. She fills in bits of the rules that maybe he forgot. I don't need to tell you this because you've seen it before. And everything in that show you've seen countless times before. And I don't need to tell you what it means. And because I don't need to tell you what it means, I've already got through to you. I've already explained what I'm doing to you. And that's so important. Us gamers can handle far more strange and weird stuff than this. But that's because that's what we understand. Okay, sorry, I'm rushing a bit ahead here. So we knew that we were going to make a quiz show on TV, a TV-like quiz show. And so we said, okay, some shows out there get really high ratings and do really well. Other shows, they don't do so well. And obviously we wanted to make a lot of money, so we wanted to be like the highly rated shows. What is it that the high rated shows do that the low rated shows don't? Okay, well these are some shows, in England at least, with quite low ratings. And the reason I've chosen these 3 shows is not just because I could find pictures of them on the internet, but also they're quite good shows. They've got interesting gameplay mechanics. They've got hosts who do a good job of controlling the show and injecting humour and tension into it. But ultimately, they're never anything more than these niche shows on these little channels. For those of you who care, we've got Mastermind, University Challenge, and 15 to 1. I doubt any of these have made it over here because low-rated shows generally don't. So what is it? Why don't these shows do all that well? Whereas these shows, they do. Probably far more recognisable to you because, again, they've done well for themselves. We've got Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? It's currently America's biggest, most popular quiz show. We've got The Weakest Link, which I know is now shown in quite a few countries. And obviously everyone recognises Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's the most popular quiz show ever. And these are also good shows. They've got decent production values, interesting mechanics, interesting hosts. But they're not inherently any better than these shows. What is it? What's the difference? Well, my theory is, it was back then and it still is now, is these shows are hard. When I watch these shows, I feel like an idiot because I can't answer any questions. I can spend 30 minutes watching these and have no idea how anyone can possibly know any of these answers. And they do. These people go on there, and it's really impressive seeing how knowledgeable they are. But they make me feel stupid. And I just don't like feeling stupid. I'm not stupid, but they make me feel it. Whereas these shows make me feel smart. I'm sure we've all played along to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we've been there, and we've got the £100 question, we've got the £200 question. We're beating the contestants. If we were on the show, we'd have just won £64,000, and we feel smart. We feel good about ourselves because we can do it. And I like watching these shows because it makes me feel good about myself. And so the second lesson we learn is let people shine. Let people feel good about themselves. Now, I don't know what that says about today's society. I mean, there's probably a big something about instant self-gratification. It's maybe not a good thing. But we're producing a game in today's society. We can't fight it. We have to go with it. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to make money from it. In a nice way. So we decided when making Buzz, and people like to be right. We think the average person should be able to answer 75% of all questions in our games, which might seem like a lot, and it is. Obviously, we're still a quiz show. We need a winner, and we need a loser. But there's other ways to separate them. Maybe the person who answers fastest scores the most points. Everyone's a winner, there's just some are more winners than others. And everyone gets to feel good about themselves. I mean, traditionally, games have been a real test of perseverance. This game here is Manic Miner on the Spectrum back in 1982. This was actually the first game that I ever played. And I love this game. Like all games of this time, what happened is you'd play the first level and you'd get through that. And you'd play the second level and you'd die. And you'd go back to the beginning of the second level and you'd die. And you'd make it through to the third level and you'd die. And you'd go back to the beginning of the first level again. And you'd just keep on doing that. You'd die and start again, fail, get better, die, throw the machine onto the ground, stamp on it, storm off in a huff and come back to it the next day. And I enjoy this. I'm one of the 10% of people who like this tough challenge of getting better and failing and slowly getting better. But again, I'm a gamer.